Hi and welcome again to another video on solving word problems involving fractions. We'll continue from where we stopped. Okay, so this question. There were some sweets in a box. Hillary took 3/8 of the sweets on Monday and another 47 sweets on Tuesday. There were 33 sweets left in the box. How many sweets were there in the box at first? Alright, so quite straightforward. The easiest way to visualize this is by using a model. So let's try to draw the model. Okay, so this is a straightforward question. There's only one fraction here and it doesn't have any units. Okay, so let's divide it into 8 parts. So this is 4 and then 2, 4, 6, 8. There you go. So 3/8 of the sweets on Monday. So this is Monday and Monday. Now, she took another 47 sweets on Tuesday, and we do not know where Tuesday is. We cannot say it's 2 units or 3 units or 4 units and so on. But we know something. The remaining sweets, okay, 33 and Tuesday is together here. So this is 47 plus 33. Right, so let's do the working. A simple one, 4 plus 3, 80. So this is 5 units. 5 units is 80. How many sweets were there in the box at first? In the first place, there's 8 units. So if we do step by step, we have 1 unit first, divided by 5. This will be 1/16. Okay, and 8 units. Okay, 16 multiply by 8. So again, this is a paper 2 question. So you can use your calculator to find the answer. 16 times 8 is 128. There you go. This is the answer. Quite straightforward. Okay, next question. Aaron has 3/5 as much savings as Bob. If Bob gives $40 to Aaron, they will have the same amount of money. So this is something that is quite common, and I call this equal beginning, equal ending question. So my students, they are familiar with the terms equal ending, equal beginning. So when we have equal ending or equal beginning, I usually prefer to draw when they are equal. Okay, so Aaron has 3/5 as much savings as Bob. If Bob gives $40 to Aaron, so now, okay, there's one more important concept that we need to remember here. Okay, so if we have 2 objects and a fraction in between, the numerator goes to the first object, denominator goes to the second. Okay, so you can draw this in both way, whether you draw it in the beginning or the fraction first. Maybe I'll show you how to draw with the fraction first also later. So if Bob gives $40 to Aaron, they will have the same amount of money. So Aaron needs to give back the $40. Okay, so this is the $40 that he needs to give back. Okay, the reason why I draw equal ending first is usually I want to try to be consistent in doing the word problems, because when you are consistent, what happens is it's easier because you will rely on less method. Okay, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's the easiest way to solve. Okay, so when we have this, okay, Aaron will have 3 units, so we cut 3 units here. And one of the things I like to do is, if you have a model like this, you can draw a long line to indicate where they will end up the same. Okay, so if Aaron has 3 units here, Bob will also have 3 units here. But remember, Bob has 5 units. So here is 2 units. And don't forget, there's a blank space here, and this blank space is exactly like the like the space on top here, so it's 40. So 2 units is 80. 1 unit is 80 divided by 2 equals to 40. How much money does Bob have? Okay, so how much money does Bob have? Bob has 5 units. So 5 units is 5 times 40 equals to 200. Okay, how much money they have altogether? Altogether they have 8 units. 8 units is 40 times 8. Okay, which gives us $320. Okay, so it's quite a straightforward question if you know what you are doing with the model. So how do we draw the model if let's say we want to start with the 3/5? Okay, so we have Aaron and Bob. Aaron has 3 units. Okay, and Bob has 5 units. Okay, for this case, if you draw this way first, it's easier because Bob gives $40 to Aaron and they have the same amount of money. And you know you just need to give 1 unit. So when you give 1 unit here, okay, so they have the same amount of money. So 1 unit is 40. How much money does Bob have? Bob has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Straight away, back to this method here. Okay, so depends on the question. But again, why I decided to draw equal beginning first, equal ending, because like I've mentioned, I try to be as consistent as possible so that you have less method to memorize. Okay, but if let's say you understand the question, then it's quite simple for you to choose which type of model you want to use. Alright, next. Mr. Tan had 2,850 apples and pears. After he sold 1/3 of the apples and 2/5 of the pears, he had equal number of apples and pears left. Okay, so this is left, this is sold. This is important because we want to talk about left. If he sold 1/3 apple, that means what's left is 2/3. And if he sold 2/5 of the pears, what's left is 3/5. So you can see here, okay, if you were to start drawing from the fraction itself, not from when they are equal, you will face some problems here. So like I said, if you are consistent, you know, oh, this is an equal question, equal beginning or equal ending. So what you would do is you will draw when they are equal. Okay, so let me draw that properly. Okay, so let's draw when they are equal. Alright, so there we have it, equal. And this is amount of pairs left, and this is sold, and we've already written what's left here, so let's write down there, L for left. So apple will be 2 units, pears will be 3. Okay, so it looks like this now. Okay, but okay, I'll draw a long line again, same concept from the previous question, where they are the same. We'll draw a long line or a longer line. But apples is supposed to be 3 units, so I'll draw 1 more unit here. And pears are supposed to be 5 units, so I have 2 more units. 1, 2. So that's how it looks like. Now, for this kind of question, where you have an area where a part where they are the same from the start and to a certain part here. So the important thing here is to take note. Apples 2 units equals to pears 3 units. So let me just write down here. Apples 3 unit is equal to apples 2 unit. Okay, apples 2 units is the same as pear 3 units. When you have this, what you can do is, okay, so since apple has 2 units, you can write 2, 2, 2, 2, 2 here. And since pear has 3 units, you can write 3. Okay, again, we are only focusing on this area where they are equal. So that's why I did not say apples have 3 units and pears have 5 units. I say apples have 2 units, which is the same as pears 3 units. So the 2 units for apples goes to the pear, and the 3 units we write down for the model in each unit of the apple. Why we want to do that? Because we want to make them equal. So if you see from here to here, this is 6 units. Whether you look it from the top or whether you look it from the bottom, it's 6 units. Okay, so we have 9 units total for apple and 10 units total for pears. That gives us a total of 19 units. And 19 units is 2,850. And we always find 1 unit. Okay, divided by 19. This gives us, let's write that properly, 19. 2,850 divided by 19. Let me do that properly. Okay, 150. So 1 unit is 150. How many apples did he have at first? He has 9 units of apple. So 9 units is 9 times 150. Okay, times 9, 1,350. Okay, so this is quite a common question though. Okay, moving on to the next one. There were some children in the school hall during recess. 37 of the boys and 79 of the girls left. There was now an equal number of boys and girls in the hall. So this is the same type of question in the hall. So this is what how many boys left the hall. So what remains in the hall is 4 out of 7. And for the girls, 7, 9 left. So what remains is 2 out of 9. Now we're going to draw the equal again. So we have boys and girls and they are equal. Okay. Same thing. And 4 boys and 2 units of girls. Now, if you don't want to get confused like previously, like what numbers to write inside each unit, you don't complete the models for each of them first. You can see now there's 4 units of boys. You can write 4 here. 2 units of girls. You write 2 here. After that, you don't forget to complete the model because there's altogether 7 units of boys and 9 units of girls. Okay, so we have to add a bit more actually here because we only have 2 here. So we need to add a bit more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes. And do not forget to write the numbers inside. Okay, so this is one way. So before you complete, you can write down the numbers inside each unit. For the first word problem here that involves this same kind of model, we completed the model first, then we wrote the number inside. But if you think that's confusing, you do this first. Now, we can write the total number of units for each of them now. And there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 units of boys. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 36 units of girl. And look at this. This is a compare. They're comparing girls and boys. So we need to compare the units also. 36 units minus 14 units. Okay, minus 14 units. This will give us 22 units. So the 22 units is 44. So 1 unit is 44 divided by 22, which gives us 2. Okay, 44 divided by 22 gives us 2. What do we do next now? How many children were there? So we just need to find the total, which is 36 plus 14. So I'll just write down the step here. Okay, 36 unit plus 14 units give us 50. So 50 times 2, because we want 50 units, that's 100. Okay, so next question. We'll try to finish the fraction in this part, if possible. Just left with a few more questions, 3 questions in fact. Lina has some white, black and red buttons in her shop. there are 360 white buttons. 1/5 of the remaining buttons are black, and the rest of the buttons are red. If 2/5 of the buttons are red buttons, how many buttons are there altogether? So this is not a common type of fraction question, but it's good to learn how to do the model. So we'll draw the model and we'll mark 360 white buttons first. Same concept as before. Because we have remaining, we're going to forget about the remainder first. We're just going to mark here 360 white buttons. Now we talk about the remainder. And the remainder is 1/5 of the remainders are black. So we know we need to cut it into 5 parts, because the denominator again signifies the total, and this is the total of the remainder only. Okay, so this is black, and the total for red is 4 units. So we can write here red. Okay, now this part here is where you need to focus on, because they say 2/5 of the buttons are red buttons. If 2/5 is 4 units, okay, so now this part of this model here, they can it usually comes in a different type of question, but it's the same way of solving. The clue here is you have a fraction given of everything, and then you have the units. So 2/5, okay, again the clue is they give you a fraction of the whole thing, and then you have a unit for it. Okay, in this case 2/5 of the buttons are red. So you know 2/5 are red, and the red buttons, there are 4 units of red buttons there. What you need to do is to write down the number of fractions and units for this other side. Since 2/5 are red buttons, okay, that means we can find out 1/5. 1/5 is just half of this, which gives us 2 units. And the other side here must be 3/5, because everything makes one whole. So 3/5 simply just means 3 times 2 equals to 6 units. So this side has to be 6 units. And we already have 1 unit here. So 6 unit minus 1 unit gives us 5 units. That means this 360, this is 5 units. So 5 units is 360. Always find 1 unit. 360 divided by 5. Okay, what do we get? We get 72. And what do they ask to find? How many buttons are there all together? Okay, all together there are 4 units here and 6 units here. That means a total of 10 units. So 10 units is 10 times 72. That gives us 720. Alright, second last question. Eunice had a sum of money. She spent $75 on a dress and 3/5 of the remainder. Okay, so usually this is how they like to ask the question. Alright. Same thing, we saw the remainder. We forget about the remainder. And we take away 75 here. Now we're going to talk about the remainder. Again, 5 units. Same as the previous one. And 3/5 is on the book. So we take 3 units. And we are only left with 2 units. And these 2 units is 1/4. So 1/4 here is 2 units. If this side is 1/4, okay, so this second question is simpler than the first one. Why? Because here we have 2 units. We need to convert to 1 unit first. We need to find 1 unit. Okay, after we find 1 unit, then we can change to 3 unit. But for this case, we already have 1 out of 4, which is 2 units. If this side here is 1/4, that means this side here has to be 3/4. So remember, the rule is to make everything one whole. And if 1/4 is 2 units, 2 quarter will be 4 units, 3 quarter will be 6 units. Alright, and remember this long line here is important because this long line tells you the whole thing from here to here is 6 units and we already have 3 units here. So that means this 75 is another 3 units. Okay, again why? Because 3 units is already here, 1, 2, 3. And together they are 6 units. So 6 units minus 3 units, this is just the working to get this. Okay, equals to 3 units, and the 3 units is 75. Now we find 1 unit, 75 divided by 3. What do we get? 25. What was the total amount she spent? So she spent on dress and book, which is 6 units. 6 units is 6 times 25. Okay, that gives us 150. So this is the answer for A. Sorry, 150. This is the answer for A. For B, how much did she have at first? Altogether, she have 6 plus 2, 8 units. 8 units is 8 times 25. Okay, let's do the working. That will give us 200. So this is for B. Okay, so this kind of question is not very common, but yes, they do test this in exam. And the last question for fractions, or rather word problem involving fraction. Alex spent 1/6 of his money on a book, 2/5 of the remainder on some food. His father then gave him another $30 and he has $6 more than what he had at first. How much money did Alex have at first? Again, we saw a remainder question. What we do is we ignore the remainder. So we cut it into 6 parts first. 3, 6. And 1 part is on book. Okay, now we can draw a long line and 2/5 of the remainder. Now, we don't need to do anything to the model because we already have 5 parts here. And remember, denominator is the total, and this is talking about the remainder only. And this is the remainder, and remainder is already 5 units. So we are safe. We don't need to do anything. So 2 parts of the remainder is on food. Now, his father gave him $30 and he had $6 more than what he had at first. So this part here is slightly tricky. Alright. That means this $30 is 1, 2, 3 units plus 6. Okay, because when he had that $30, so let me just draw this below here. Okay. So this is what he has. This, okay, again combine with whatever the remain. Okay, let me just complete the model so it's easier for you to see. Okay. So these two here, they are the same. Okay, they are basically the same because we did not do anything to them. Alright, so let me just highlight them blue so that we know they are the same here. So these two, they are the same. We did not do anything. This is the remainder after he had spent everything. This is what the father gave. Okay, the father gave all of this. Okay. Father gave. Okay, the father gave this. So the father gave 3 units plus 6. And everything here is $30. So we can see that if we minus the 6 from the 30, what we get is 3 units. So 30 minus 6 equals to 24. And this is 3 units basically. 3 units is 24 and we always find 1 unit. 1 unit is 24 divided by 3. That gives us 8. So how much did he have at first? At first is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. So 6 units is 8 times 6. That gives us 48. Alright, so that concludes it. If you think this is beneficial again, okay, hope you will subscribe. So consider subscribing because you do not want to miss any videos that I upload. And if you have any question, you can post them in the comment section. And I really hope that I was able to help you in your revision, or in fact if you are using this not for revising but to understand, to study. So I hope it will help. Okay, so until the next video, thank you very much for watching. See you again.